Hey everybody, my name's Anurag, aka AnzidMTG. This weekend I was here at Riftbound Las Vegas, the regional qualifier, and I have two roles here. Actually, the first role I have is as a competitor, so this weekend I got to play. My backup role, I worked on the broadcast actually in a pre-production manner. So all the graphics that you see or saw on the stream this weekend, I had a part in that. A lot of cool animations, a lot of cool ideas for how to display data. If you have any feedback, let me know. But yeah, for the first time in many, many years, I actually got to play the game, play in the tournament, and it was such an exciting experience for me. So I think that's a great question. I think from a logistics perspective, one of the things that we ran into issues with was just like the amount of work that actually had to be done, and the amount of we had a lot of folks doing like multiple roles. You know, like for example, my friend Sam Morris was just doing like the job of like 3 people, and honestly, like when you go behind, you know, in the production area, like every person there is able to do like almost every other person's job. That's why they get hired, because they're just like the best at what they do. But I think this time we eased up into it. There are a couple small things that I saw that, you know, like could have been improved. I think like just the playmat, for example, was something that I was very, very, very like, I saw there was an issue with the playmat and I wanted it fixed and things like that. There was also one thing that was new this time around was coordinating with a team in Bologna. So the folks over at CSL, and that was kind of interesting because, you know, going into this event, now that we have international events, we really wanted to try to present like a unified broadcast. And so just like the Chinese and English releases are kind of like merging into one, we're trying to do the same thing with our broadcast as well to present like that united front. So I think honestly, like, there was a lot of the Houston show that was great. Anything that needed to be fixed was kind of like small stuff, at least from the broadcast perspective. Things like feature match selection and, you know, whatever it was is something that can always be optimized, but it's really just boils down to like procedurally, like what were the problems that we ran into, and I think we just like threw bodies at it this time. So yeah, a lot of learned lessons in like, you know, how we want to display things, taking into consideration like, you know, players' comfort. So for example, in Bologna, the playmat was too small, so we said, hey, we have a wider playmat. We're going to adjust the entire graphic set so that players have more play space, right? That's very important, right? I know like Riot Games cares a lot about the player experience, and so just kind of cater to that as much as we can, yeah. So I'm a huge fan of not just having one match, not just 2 matches, but 4 matches, which is kind of a crazy thing to ask for. But in my dream broadcast world, you've got like 4 matches, you've got like live viewing areas. So we've got a viewing wall over there, which is great for people to watch and keep track of the tournament. What I would love to see is something that's a bit like closer to like the live timeline. When you're at the tournament, I want to know what's happening now and not what's going on in the broadcast. And, you know, like, just this is like, you know, modern day TCG production where like things are kind of like asynchronous, the broadcast from the tournament. But when you're here watching, you know, I want to hear the crowd roar when like game-winning plays are made live on site. So that's one thing like that I would love to do. Now, that would basically involve doubling the amount of effort that we put in right now. So it's a tall ask, but that's my dream.
I mean, it sounds kind of like an NFL red zone, but like live at the event.
That is exactly like in our discussions. We talked about like, you know, how does like, you know, how do sports do it? The red zone came up, you know, that kind of thing as well. A lot to learn both in like commentary presentation, styling, you know, I don't know, just want to give like the audience more to do, but then also just one thing I've noticed is that like the best feedback for broadcasts that we've gotten is like players just want to watch the game, you know, no downtime, none of this sort of stuff, just one match after another, after another, after another. Yeah, so I had the pleasure of working with the folks over at DSG Disguised, and their team came up with some like insane deck. It's a variation of the Draven deck. It's been on Feature Match many times, or the deck, you know, deck list has been kind of popping off. It's called Miracle Draven, which we know, but the variation here is that rather than playing like cards like Noxus Hopeful and some of the more mid-rangey options, we're playing Detonate, which is a common, I think, from the new set that says kill a gear, draw 2. You combine that with Treasure Trove, and it really allows you to power through your deck. I think between our entire team, we basically drew our entire deck like probably half of the matches, and that's like over like maybe 100 matches over the weekend or something. And the crazy part about this is that once you draw your whole deck, you unlock the secret of this deck, which is looping with Vi. So if you have no cards in your deck, there's some really intricate, convoluted loops that I'm not going to get into them now, but it has an absurd late game potential, and that to me was something that I was really proud of, got to be a part of. Now, day one started off really hot for me. I was 3-1 into 6-1. I lost my last round, unfortunately, to go 6-2, and then day two the wheels kind of just like fell off. I didn't get too much time to practice as much as I would like to. I was really busy with a bunch of other TCG broadcasts, so kind of balancing it. But my friends did really well. A lot of them finished like X2, X3, that kind of deal. Locked their invites for nationals, and in fact, like I think one of our teammates just finished their round 13 feature match where they were playing for top 8. I don't know how it ended, so I'm gonna go find out soon. I think for me, and this is going to sound super cheesy, but like I've been playing Magic for a very, very long time, and I have a lot of friends that I've made in the Magic community. One thing that I'm really appreciative about being here in person is getting to just like meet new people from other TCGs. Riftbound to me feels like the potpourri of all games, where you've got folks from like One Piece and Flesh and Blood and Magic and Lorcana, and finally getting to meet these people is fantastic. I don't know, just hanging out here in person, always great. Twitter at AnzidMTG on all socials. Basically, I might be doing a rebrand soon. I gotta drop the MTG, social networking kind of deal. Shout outs to the DSG team. They've honestly made it great. It's been a fantastic weekend. I'm so glad to be here.